Rome and its power in the Mediterranean after the Punic Wars. The conclusion of the Punic Wars, 264 to 146 BCE, marked a pivotal moment in the transformation of Rome from a regional power in the Italian peninsula into the undisputed master of the Mediterranean world. The destruction of Carthage in 146 BCE and Rome's subsequent conquests cemented its dominance over the Mediterranean, shaping the political, military, and economic landscape for centuries to come. The following analysis explores how Rome consolidated and expanded its power in the Mediterranean after the Punic Wars, focusing on the strategic, political, and economic changes that allowed Rome to build the first Mediterranean empire. 1. Rome's strategic dominance in the Mediterranean. With the defeat of Carthage in the Third Punic War, Rome emerged as the unrivaled power in the Western Mediterranean. The wars had provided Rome with valuable naval experience and control over critical maritime routes, allowing it to project power across the region and expand its territorial holdings. Control of key territories. The Punic Wars allowed Rome to annex several key territories that were crucial for its control of the Mediterranean: Sicily, Corsica, and Sardinia. After the First Punic War, Rome gained control of Sicily, Corsica, and Sardinia, which became the first Roman provinces outside the Italian peninsula. These islands were strategically important, providing naval bases that allowed Rome to secure the Western Mediterranean. Sicily, in particular, became a major source of grain, helping to feed the growing Roman population. Spain. Rome's victory in the Second Punic War gave it control over Spain, a territory rich in natural resources such as silver and iron. Spain became a critical part of the Roman Empire's economy, providing valuable resources to fund military campaigns and enrich the Roman state. North Africa. After the destruction of Carthage in the Third Punic War, Rome annexed Carthage's territories in North Africa, establishing the province of Africa. This region became a major source of grain, olive oil, and other agricultural products, which were essential for feeding the Roman population and sustaining its army. Control of maritime trade routes. With Carthage defeated and its navy destroyed, Rome was free to dominate the Mediterranean's maritime trade routes. The Roman navy, which had developed during the Punic Wars, became the dominant force in the Mediterranean, allowing Rome to secure key trade routes and protect its expanding empire. Mare Nostrum, RC. The Mediterranean was referred to by the Romans as Mare Nostrum, RC, symbolizing Rome's total control over the region. This dominance allowed Rome to ensure the free movement of goods, troops, and information across its vast territories. 2. Political and administrative changes in Rome. The Punic Wars also had a profound impact on Rome's political and administrative structures. As Rome expanded its territories, it needed to develop new systems of governance to manage its growing empire and maintain control over distant provinces. Creation of provinces and provincial governance. One of the most important changes in Roman administration after the Punic Wars was the creation of provinces, territories outside of Italy that were governed by Roman officials. These provinces were crucial for the management of Rome's empire and the extraction of resources. Governors, proconsuls, and praetors. Each province was governed by a proconsul or praetor, who was responsible for maintaining law and order, collecting taxes, and overseeing military defenses. These governors were often former magistrates from Rome, and their positions were both politically prestigious and financially lucrative. Taxation and tribute. Rome imposed taxes and tributes on its provinces, which became a major source of revenue. Provinces were required to pay regular tribute to Rome, and the wealth extracted from these regions helped finance Rome's military campaigns and building projects. The rise of military commanders. The expansion of Roman territory and the need to defend far-flung provinces led to the rise of powerful military commanders, who often held both military and political authority. These commanders, such as Scipio Africanus, gained immense prestige through their military victories, and their success often translated into political power in Rome. Scipio Africanus. After his victory over Hannibal at the Battle of Zama, 202 BCE, Scipio Africanus became one of the most celebrated figures in Roman history. His military success not only ended the Second Punic War, but also solidified Rome's control over the Western Mediterranean. Increasing political power of generals. As Rome's empire expanded, the power of military commanders grew, leading to a gradual erosion of the authority of the Roman Senate. This trend would eventually contribute to the downfall of the Roman Republic, as powerful generals like Julius Caesar and Pompey used their military influence to challenge the traditional political system. 3. Economic expansion and the growth of Rome. Rome's conquests after the Punic Wars brought immense wealth into the Republic. The control of new territories and trade routes, combined with the exploitation of provincial resources, fueled Rome's economic expansion and allowed it to build a thriving empire. Exploitation of provincial resources. The territories annexed by Rome, particularly Spain and North Africa, were rich in natural resources that became crucial to Rome's economy. Mining in Spain. Spain was particularly important for its silver mines, which provided Rome with a steady supply of precious metals. This influx of wealth allowed Rome to finance its military campaigns and pay for the expansion of its infrastructure. Agriculture in North Africa. The fertile lands of North Africa became a key source of grain for Rome. With the annexation of Carthaginian territories, Rome secured control of some of the most productive agricultural regions in the Mediterranean, ensuring a stable food supply for the city's growing population. Rome's control of trade. Rome's dominance of the Mediterranean allowed it to control the flow of goods throughout the region. This control not only enriched Rome but also helped integrate its provinces into a vast economic network. Trade routes. With Rome controlling the Mediterranean Sea, merchants could travel safely along key trade routes, facilitating the exchange of goods between Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Rome became the center of a vast commercial network, where goods such as grain, wine, olive oil, spices, and luxury items flowed into the capital. Ports and infrastructure. Rome invested in building and maintaining a network of ports, roads, and aqueducts that supported trade and ensured the efficient movement of goods and troops across the empire. This infrastructure was key to Rome's ability to maintain control over its vast territories. 4. Rome's imperial ambitions after the Punic Wars. The defeat of Carthage eliminated Rome's main rival in the Western Mediterranean, allowing it to turn its attention to the Hellenistic kingdoms in the east. Rome's imperial ambitions grew as it sought to extend its influence across the entire Mediterranean. Conquests in the eastern Mediterranean. Following the Punic Wars, Rome embarked on a series of military campaigns to subdue the Hellenistic kingdoms of Macedon, Greece, and the Seleucid Empire. These campaigns marked the beginning of Rome's domination of the eastern Mediterranean. Macedonian Wars. Rome fought several wars against Macedon, eventually defeating the kingdom at the Battle of Pydna in 168 BCE. This victory marked the end of Macedonian independence and the beginning of Roman rule in Greece. Wars with the Seleucid Empire. Rome's influence extended into Asia Minor and the Middle East after defeating the Seleucid Empire in the Battle of Magnesia, 190 BCE. This victory allowed Rome to impose its control over much of the eastern Mediterranean, further expanding its empire. Rome as a Mediterranean empire. By the end of the 2nd century BCE, Rome had transformed into a Mediterranean empire that stretched from the western coasts of Spain to the eastern regions of Asia Minor, and from the shores of North Africa to the Alps in northern Europe. This expansion made Rome the dominant power in the Mediterranean world and laid the groundwork for the later Roman Empire. 5. The legacy of the Punic Wars, Rome's Mediterranean hegemony. The Punic Wars had a lasting impact on the development of Rome and the Mediterranean region. The destruction of Carthage and the annexation of its territories allowed Rome to consolidate its power and embark on a path of further expansion. Unchallenged dominance. With no major rivals left in the Western Mediterranean, Rome was free to expand its influence across the entire Mediterranean basin. The defeat of Carthage removed any immediate threats to Rome's supremacy, and its conquests in the east further solidified its status as the dominant power in the ancient world. Economic prosperity. Rome's control over the Mediterranean trade routes and the resources of its provinces allowed it to grow economically, supporting both the Republic's military ambitions and its domestic development. Imperial ambitions. The victory over Carthage set a precedent for Roman imperialism, as Rome continued to conquer new territories and integrate them into its growing empire. This expansion would continue for centuries, eventually leading to the creation of the Roman Empire under Augustus. Conclusion: Rome's rise as the first Mediterranean empire. The Punic Wars were the crucible that forged Rome into the first